Hello, friends. This is Dr. Kristen Bennett. I'm the founder of ILLUMII, and today I wanted to talk about ADHD and specifically often the overstimulation that happens with ADHD. Um, are your kids ever clumsy, sensory seeking, having poor motor planning or control, lack of body control, bumps, bruises, hitting things, arms going around, or just have to lean on stuff all the time? And then also, do you find them being really emotionally dysregulated? Those are things that a lot of parents of kiddos and even adults with ADHD experience. Um, One thing I want to bring up is something called proprioception. I know that's a funky word and it's something you haven't heard probably often, and it's not something we hear on a daily basis. But really, it is just basically the body's ability to sense itself. So to feel, hear, see, and understand where we are in space. Why are we talking about that? Well, the brain receives and gets information from our eyes when we see things, our ear when we hear things, and even vestibularly where we are kind of in space, how quickly we're moving. And then also with our skin, muscles, joints, all of those things are kind of put together to tell us where we are in space. Those things in ADHD kiddos can be underdeveloped. And so that's why there are more bumps and bruises, or, walking into doorways or things like that. So that part of the process is called proprioception. It's a type of receiving of information in our environment. So let's imagine this. You are in line with your kiddo. Let's say you're at a fair, you're at Disney, you're, just standing in line at Starbucks. And when you get there, there are 5 people ahead of you. We can tell ourselves we're going to need to be patient and just wait until the line moves and the person in front of us goes ahead. Um, so we say, let's wait patiently. But kiddos with ADHD are not able to filter all the things in or out. And so they see lights flashing, they see talking, there's lots of crowds, there's probably music going on. All of those things can make anyone actually, but kids with ADHD or humans with ADHD a little more likely to be dysregulated, right? It just antsy and dysregulated. So what happens is you're going to maybe see some overstimulation that comes in. It could be minor forms like whining or jumping up and down, or doing something that is overstimulated. If you keep your eye out for these sorts of things, now that you know about it, you can preempt. Or even if that dysregulation starts to happen, you can do a few things that are pretty subtle and very easy to do, and give them some proprioceptive input. So that overstimulation means they need deep, heavy movement or something that helps regulate them. And some easy things to do. First of all, I would recommend using few words. It's not like, let's settle down, put your feet down, put your feet on the floor, stop hanging around. That's not going to work nearly as much, because that dysregulation means they're moving from kind of that rational brain to that lower limbic system brain, which is starting to get into fight or flight. I would recommend some deep pressure squeezes. That can be a hug. It can be a pickup of a kid you can pick up. It can be holding hands and doing some little hand movements. A crunchy snack or gum. The jaw is a really good thing to use sensory input. You can ask questions of them, like play a little game for distraction, but also be doing that deep input by saying, how high can I jump when we're in line? How high can you jump when you're in line? Really, that's what you want to do. Or stand on one leg like a flamingo. Any of these things are helpful in proprioceptive input, that like heavy input. Things like push-ups or squats, those kinds of things are great. Maybe not so great for in line, but they're doing that deep pressure input. So that's just a couple minutes on proprioceptive input. Here's some other suggestions. You can go to these places and take a look. Next time we'll talk about when kids start to be sensory seeking, what we can do. All right, thanks.